y'all. In case you didn't know, May was Mental Health Awareness Month, so even though I'm missing it by a couple of days and we're in the beginning of June now, I wanted to take some time to just do a brief highlight on mental health and how exercise can help combat mental health. We know that exercise is important for our physical health, but we often forget that exercise can also have effects on our mental health as well and help improving our mental health. So I just want to take a brief moment to talk about what mental health is. We hear that term thrown around a lot, but I think it's good to kind of put a definition to it. We're also going to talk about with the common conditions that we're talking about when we refer to mental health, or at least the ones that I'm referring to whenever I talk about it in this presentation, and then also how exercise ultimately helps improve our mental health. So to kind of start off, I want to define mental health as a person's condition with regard to their psychological and emotional well-being. Our mental health helps handle our stress. When we are in poor mental health, we're not going to handle our stress very well. It also is related to how we handle others and how we relate to others, and then also how we just make decisions in general. The common conditions, I guess, that I'm referring to as we talk about mental health through this, and the research that I've done, this is how exercise relates to stress, depression, anxiety, ADHD, and then also some mood disorders. So just to throw some statistics at you, 1 in 5 adult Americans suffer from a mental illness every year. 1 in 6 American youth aged 16 to 17 years old suffer from a mental illness every year. 50% of most mental illness begins by age 14, and then 75% of most mental illnesses begin by age 24. So we're talking about mental illness beginning in people that are in those adolescent years and then kind of those early adult, young professional years. People with depression specifically have a 40% higher risk of developing cardiovascular and other metabolic diseases. So not only are we talking about mental illnesses affecting your psychological function, but it also can have effects on your heart and the way your body processes different things. So how does exercise affect our mental health? We hear this all the time. We hear the statistics thrown out that if you just exercise, it'll help improve your mental health. But I want to talk about kind of exactly the specific things that exercise can benefit in regard to mental health. So the first thing, it releases endorphins. We hear that term thrown around a lot, endorphins related to exercise. And endorphins are those feel-good brain chemicals. That's why you hear people talk about getting like a runner's high or things like that, and that is the release of those brain chemicals, those endorphins that help us feel good. So that's one way it can have a better effect on our mental health. It can also just work as a distraction from negative thoughts. You know, you're focusing on the task that you're performing, getting a good workout in, you're able to put some of those distracting negative thoughts to the back of your mind. It promotes neural growth, and we're going to talk about that here in just a second, but it actually, this new neural growth is able to promote feelings of calmness and well-being. Boosts mental energy, relieves tension and stress. A lot of people use exercise as just an outlet to reduce their stress and get away from some of the stressors of life that we all endure. Promotes better sleep quality. We know that if we're sleeping better, that's going to improve our mental function. Improves concentration, mood, attention, memory, and motivation. So you're able to focus on tasks better, you're able to remember things better, which then also helps you be attentive to tasks, and then just overall motivation. If you're able to stay motivated and disciplined to do a workout, then you're going to be motivated to perform our normal daily tasks as well. And then improves our self-esteem. We know that if we have the ability to see ourselves in a positive light, then that also motivates us as well and improves our mental function. So kind of the science behind exercising, improving mental health. There's research that shows exercise to be just as effective in treating mental health conditions as pharmaceutical interventions. So there's some different studies out there that have shown in terms of taking medication for a mental condition or exercising. There, in a lot of studies, they show exercise to be just as effective as taking the medications for conditions such as depression, dementia, anxiety, and schizophrenia. We know that regular exercise helps increase the blood supply to the brain. You're getting that overall increase in blood flow, increase in circulation, so therefore it's increasing the blood supply to our brain as well, and that is how we improve our neuronal health. We improve that nerve function. I was just talking about how it improves our neural growth, and that is how. It's because it's increasing the circulation to our brain and stimulates that growth. An example of this is improving the health in areas of our brain such as the hippocampus, which is involved in memory and emotional regulation. This is specifically important for depression, where we see that decline in memory and emotional regulation. So how much exercise do we have to be doing? Is this just walking from our car in the parking lot into work, maybe parking further away? Do we have to do an hour of really intense exercise every day? So just to kind of specifically put some numbers to how often you need to exercise to get these benefits, anything counts. Even just an extra 10-minute walk at lunch, maybe it is parking further away, taking the stairs instead of taking the elevator. Anything helps, but the goal is at least 150 minutes per week of moderate intensity exercise, specifically aerobic exercise. So exercise that is getting your heart rate up, is making you breathe a little bit harder, maybe breaking a sweat, but it can be performed in bouts as short as 10 minutes, as long as you're striving for that 150 minutes per week. It's important to do something that you enjoy. Don't just force yourself to do exercise that you hate. That's kind of defeating the purpose of it improving your mental health. Make it be something that you enjoy. And also remember, you can start small. It doesn't have to be a huge hour-long workout. It can be something as simple as 15 minutes every day, but focusing on gradually increasing how often you're doing it, how hard you're working, and then how long you're actually doing those bouts of exercise. It's important to address some of the common barriers that may feel like they're getting in the way of starting an exercise program or continuing on with an exercise program. So I wanted to address a few of those. One of them being just feeling overwhelmed. It can feel like too much. We have so much information at our fingertips now. Do I do this type of exercise? Do I do this type of exercise? And then just the actual task of exercising. If we feel so busy and so stressed out by other things, sometimes adding one more thing into our schedule can feel overwhelming. So the best way, I think, to combat that is make physical activity a priority. If we know that it's good for our physical health and we know that it's good for our mental health in the long run and in the short run too, there are benefits in the short term. If we make it a priority, we're more likely to be able to do it, and it won't feel as daunting or as tasking. Just working it into your normal daily schedule, just like you would any other type of appointment or important task. Just make it a priority. Also, just feeling exhausted. We know that fatigue is a symptom of a lot of mental illnesses, and so that can obviously make trying to find time to exercise or motivation to exercise really difficult. Try to remind yourself of the benefit of exercise, that it does increase your energy level, even though it can feel exhausting. And, if you're doing a hard enough workout, it will kind of make you feel tired immediately afterward. But remember the long-term effect of exercise. It will increase our energy level. It is going to improve our sleep quality so that hopefully we don't feel quite as fatigued. Another barrier can just be feeling bad for yourself, kind of that self-pity, down in the dumps feeling that often is associated with mental illness. And so a way to combat that is seek common community. Find people that are interested in the same thing you are. Find community that you can work out with that's going to encourage you to meet these goals of improving your exercise routines and programs. Even just things as simple as putting on a new or your favorite pair of tennis shoes or workout clothes can just be a simple thing to make you feel better about yourself too, that may motivate you to exercise. And then listening to your favorite music, or I like to listen to podcasts or audiobooks or different things like that while I work out, just to kind of distract me, but also they're things that I enjoy, and so it helps that time feel more enjoyable. Nowadays, too, we can access all of our favorite TV shows that we might be sitting on the couch watching anyway. We can access that from our phone or our iPad or whatever. So put that in front of you while you're walking on the treadmill or on the elliptical or on the bike or something. And lastly, another common barrier is pain. A lot of times pain, literally physical pain, can be a side effect of some mental illness. And so if you find that it's too painful or your body's hurting, then maybe reduce the intensity. Maybe instead of running, you're going to fast walk, or take more breaks. Give yourself and your body time to rest between sets, and seek help as needed. If it's hurting and you're having a lot of issue with that, then reach out to your doctor, or you can reach out to us if you have questions, and hopefully we can get you some answers. But pain should definitely not be something that's associated with exercise, but don't let it be something that prevent you from exercise either. Reach out if you need help with that. So some tips for getting started. We're talking about getting started, or maybe you need some motivation to change things up. One place to start, like I said earlier, is do something that you enjoy. If you are dreading going for a run, don't go for a run. Ride your bike instead, or do a group exercise class, or watch a YouTube exercise video or something. But do something you enjoy. Maybe that includes doing something new. Maybe you've never done yoga before, and that's going to be the new thing that you start. Just do something that you find enjoyable, though. Be comfortable. If the thought of going into a gym and exercising in front of a ton of people stresses you out and overwhelms you, don't add stress to the situation. Maybe find a online class that you can do in your home, or find a workout that's posted somewhere that you can do inside your home. Maybe you feel more comfortable working out with people, or finding a friend to go on a walk with. Again, be comfortable. Do something that isn't feeling like a daunting task. Make it a social activity. Invite your friends to do it with you. That's also a good accountability tool. If you have somebody there to hold you accountable to meet you at the gym at 5 a.m., then that'll obviously help add some motivation to it. Reward yourself. Like I said, maybe if you're wanting to catch up on that TV show, instead of watching it while you're on the couch, reward yourself by getting to watch it, but watch it while you're on a cardio machine or something, or listen to that book you've been wanting to read. Maybe even rewarding yourself with going to get a smoothie at your favorite smoothie place after you finished your exercise, or after you've exercised 5 days a week for a month, buy yourself a new pair of running shoes. Find little things to reward yourself, whatever capacity that may look like. Remember, even the smallest victories count. That helps maintain your motivation. If previously you were only able to run for 10 minutes, but now you can run for 15 minutes, celebrate that. Even though it may seem like such a small change, that is a improvement in the activity that you're doing. Or even just being able to check off that you exercise 5 days this week instead of 2. Again, find just even the smallest motivation. Those positive recognitions will help keep you motivated. Again, use the resources that you have, whether it's with us, even though we don't offer personal training services per se, we try to offer various different things for you guys. We want to see you be successful. We want to see you meet your wellness goals. And overall, we just want to make sure that people are staying as healthy and well as they possibly can. In whatever capacity we can play our role in that, we want to be that for you. Meeting wellness goals doesn't have to be expensive. So don't feel like you have to subscribe to all these online services or these different gym memberships. Figure out what works for you and invest in that, rather than just dishing out a ton of cash for this, that, and the other. Hopefully this has been helpful for you. I hope it brought some new information to you. I feel like mental health and mental wellness are things that keep getting brought up a lot in our world lately, and so we wanted to address that and take time to talk about it and how exercise can help combat that. But as always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks for listening.